What's up, party people? Welcome to the Wednesday Whale webinar. Got some folks joining. Peeps in the house. Kenny's back. What's up, Alyssa? What's up, Josh? Hope everybody's doing well. If you guys have anything specific, I've got some questions that were left before the webinar, but if you have any questions now or just things you're working on, I'd love to float them out there and let's talk through with the community here about things you're struggling with or decisions you're trying to make. We're in Q3. That means we're all prepping for Q4. So I want to make sure everybody gets off to a good foot this year. What's up, Kenny? All right. It's going to be me again, just me. Rabba is still traveling the world. I believe Sonder is traveling the world. He's traveling today somewhere. Not sure where in the world, but good for him. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July, if you're in the States, and celebrate our independence. I myself was up late because there were fireworks going off within, 100 feet of my house until 11:30, which was fun. I don't know if anybody else dealt with that. How do I make a returning customer cost per acquisition in a summary page? Yeah, I can help with that. I'd love to know, Kenny, are you dedicating any spend specifically to returning customers? Gets a little dicier doing that, meaning trying to figure out what the actual returning revenue or returning CPA is, but we can definitely do it against all returning customers with your spend. We may have to use the pixel to try to figure out the returning customer CPA against specific campaigns if you're dedicating certain campaign spend to that. All right, just letting some folks file in before we get started. All right, and I also need to. All right, cool. All right, let's get cracking. Again, if you have anything you want to chat about, it doesn't have to be just questions. I want to kind of use this time to show off the products and new things we're working on, but I also want to leverage the community here. So if you guys have anything you're kind of trying to figure out on your own and you want to try to leverage the folks that are here, we can talk about it. When I was helping manage marketing for an e-commerce brand a couple years ago, the biggest things that I was trying to work on were ad spend and creative analysis, trying to understand what can we spin up next? What's my merchandising plan? Are we sending people directly to product pages? Should I leverage collections? Can I do any bundles? Do the bundles actually convert? These were all things I was working on. And then we did a lot of planning. So we were launching products every 30 to 60 days. And so a lot went into actually trying to figure out how much to order for those new products. And then for the ones we wanted to keep around, how do we analyze how well they did over a certain period of time to figure out top times of the year to bring that product back. I don't know if anybody else is sharing in that specific analysis, but I want to go over product analytics today. We just had some changes made there, which should be exciting. And then I know we had somebody who wanted to really look at triple survey. Would love to talk to you about that. I was directly involved in building that product with the team, so very fun there. And yeah, so let's get into it. Let's check the no dedicated spends, just retargeting in Meta. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can look through that. All right. All right, so let's go through the questions first that were left, and then Kenny, I'll cover your question. So one customer wanted to know what the customer, basically shipping costs. So in Triple Whale, right now we have is the shipping rates per country. So you can go into your settings and there's going to be expenses. In expenses, you can make sure that you have all of your fees set up. We are working on building the shipping rates out in a bit more depth. I would like to create something kind of like a rate card of sorts. So right now it's shipping by country and it's kind of flat rate, but we do receive some information from Shopify that might be able to help us create more dynamic rates. We kind of know what city within the United States they're being shipped to, what state that is, what region that is. We also know what the customer chose, free shipping versus priority versus 1 day. And so we might be able to just allow you guys to add in shipping costs per region, per state, and per shipping type, so that you know that if they chose one day, this is truly costing us $20. Hopefully the customer paid that in full. But if you're ever offering like a promotion where you're saying free 2-day shipping on all orders placed this Wednesday for July 4th weekend, well, that has a true impact on cost to you and is probably a higher cost than your standard free shipping threshold. So going back to the question itself is, what did the customer pay in shipping versus what's the actual shipping cost? Right now, we focus primarily on the actual shipping cost, although shipping as a revenue stream is included in the total sales figure in Triple Whale. We just don't, I don't believe right now that we're breaking that out specifically, but I would definitely pay attention, maybe download a list of all your orders and see if you can't get the shipping paid out of there. I would implore you to kind of investigate that with your 3PL shipping costs to see how much money you're, quote unquote, losing or making off of shipping, because shipping can be somewhat of a revenue generating process for your brand, because you can essentially offer a threshold high enough for free shipping that makes up for the shipping costs paid for by the other folks who are below that threshold. Maybe you want to charge $5 or $7, something like that on a flat rate for orders that are under $100 or something along those lines. So check that out. But I will pass this along to the team to see if I can provide more granularity for you folks on how much shipping is being received in revenue and how much shipping is going out. Another question, when will you open Facebook rules? So I'm not sure if this question was specifically related to the rules engine that we had. And just so everyone knows, we recently had to kind of sunset that product for a while. It was actually a really cool product. It was myself and Ilya, the product manager, kind of mainly in charge of that feature. And all of our developers put a lot of time and hard work into Rules Engine. But candidly, we didn't see as much adoption of it as we had hoped. And there's kind of a lot of risk that goes into that product itself. If there's just one bug, it could mean that we spend thousands and thousands of dollars of your money or something, and it can really have adverse effects. And so technology always has some inherent risk with it, and the risk was not kind of worth the reward in that case. So for now, we do not have like an active rules engine within Triple Whale, but it is something we're exploring bringing back, specifically bringing back into a recommendation engine. So what we'd like to do is be able to take what we did in the rules engine and set up rule sets for you. If CPA is below this, if CPA is above that, if Facebook spend reaches $1,000 by noon, do X, Y, or Z. So we do have the ability to let you create this kind of recommendation rule that says, hey, I want you to notify me, Triple Whale, if I end up spending $1,000 today and my CPA is below my target. And we could send you a notification right away that says, hey, it's 10 a.m., you've spent $1,000 and you're below target. We recommend that you actually increase your budget by 20% every hour until CPA is over your target. So there's some fun things we can do there and let you kind of still kind of hold the keys to the kingdom while we are helping kind of ignite the growth potential and opportunities that exist, so that you don't have to do any of the thinking yourself. The machine can kind of do that for you and just notify you. So let me know if there's any other questions around that. I know the customer wanted to know if we see any benefit from using Facebook shop ads. Our first test of it has pulled down results. With Advantage Plus, it seems like we've seen some decent results out of the gate for some brands. So I'm sure it very much depends on your product and how much thought goes into the product. Is it something that someone might kind of binge buy right on the spot? And in that case, I think that the Facebook shop might work well if they truly understand the benefit of the product and it looks awesome and it's a low enough price point for them to just go ahead and buy. Otherwise, I do think anecdotally, a customer spending time on your website and getting to know your brand and the benefits, maybe you have a landing page that really goes through those things, the features, the benefits, that probably will convert better. But in general, Advantage Plus seems to be doing okay. I will say that please pay attention to returning customers and new customers acquired from Advantage Plus. I am seeing that Facebook's having some difficulty with retargeting or just targeting in general, where returning customers, recent customers are receiving Advantage Plus ads. And you just don't want it to get out of hand where you're egregiously spending money to reacquire. This kind of goes into Kenny's question about returning customer CPA. So we can look at that, but we specifically will break down returning customers versus new customers from all of your campaigns. And then we're also working on ensuring that any customer that goes through a Meta shop is also matched to returning or new customer once we receive the order through Shopify as your back end. So all good things there, but in general, it seems like a positive light, except for the targeting issues. And I think Google deals with that too, where if you're using Performance Max, like Google wants to go after the lowest hanging fruit. So you have to be very careful that Google's actually trying to go target net new customers for you. All right, so let's get into Kenny's question about returning customer CPA, which is right on that same playing field. So let's share my screen. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's hop into Facebook. We will talk about next gen, by the way, guys. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, so what Kenny was looking at is, so we have anything, of course, everyone hopefully knows at this point, anything with the pixel icon here, the floppy disk is triple pixel data. I did have some confusion on a customer call the other day. This has nothing to do with Google Analytics. It has nothing to do with the Facebook pixel. This is simply our tracking mechanism. What we're doing is we're tracking visitors to your site. We are trying to, and hopefully we're doing a good job, we are trying to connect journeys of visitors across their different path points to your site. So if someone comes in from Facebook today, then tomorrow they come through Klaviyo, and then later on down the road, they come through Google search. We hope that with our pixel, we can combine those journeys together and create kind of a full roadmap for how your customers are interacting with your ad campaigns and coming to purchase. So what we also have in the pixel are a bunch of various metrics that we're tracking, including sessions, visitors, new visitors, purchases. And when we receive a purchase event, basically we see that the purchase happened, we fire a pixel on the thank you page, and then Shopify sends us that order through the backend CRM. And when that order comes through, we know right away from Shopify, is this a new customer or a returning customer? So purchases here is all customers. So anyone who made a purchase who also clicked on this Advantage Plus campaign. New customer purchases, which is in this column, shows you how many out of the 31 are brand new to your site. And so what we can also do is create custom metrics. So create a custom metric, we'll call this returning customers, purchases. So be a number, and we'll do purchases minus new customer purchases. Add this to our chart, our table. I'm going to put this right up there with pixel new customer purchases. Let's pray that worked. Yep, so 14. And the reason why this doesn't exactly match 31 minus 17, I believe is, or it does, yeah. So 31 minus 17, we have 14 returning customer purchases. And then the CPA target. So right now we're looking at, this is total blended CPA. This is total spend divided by the amount of purchases we tracked. Now, Kenny, what he's asking about is, okay, some of these campaigns might be specifically retargeting, where I'm actually going after either customers who have interacted with my ads or maybe customers who have lapsed. So customers who were on my email list, they're not really interacting with my brand anymore. I want to see how cheap I can pick them up, how inexpensively I can pick them up and bring them back into my ecosystem. So what Kenny can do is take that custom metric, the returning customer purchases. So we can do, and we're going to do a dollar amount. So we're going to do what he called RC CPA. And what we take here is returning. Well, let's build it from scratch. So purchases minus New customer purchases. Let's throw some brackets around that. I'm going to take this other metric, and this is going to be spend. We're going to divide. So right now it is going to be ad spend divided by essentially returning customer purchases. So let's hope this works. Let's take that up there next to CPA. So we have new customer CPA and returning customer CPA. Here we go. Yeah, so 110 for the return or for the new, 134 for the returning. So you can look at this across just Facebook. You can look at this across channels, whatever you'd like, but take a look at that, build those out in your dashboard and kind of add them to your columns. We actually have a new, this is coming out soon, but we're going to be able to allow you to create column presets, which is really fun. So you'll be able to set up a column maybe just for returning customer metrics. So returning customers, RCPA, maybe returning visitors versus new visitors, things like that. And then you can save that and add it to your table. So that's coming up soon. Hold on, I've got a question to make sure I get there. All right, awesome, Kenny. Hope that helped. But I would also, in general, like attribution is a bit of an art and a science. So the science is kind of how we're blending those IDs of visitors together to create a journey. But in general, Facebook could be doing a lot more for your brand than what the clicks are saying. So always be paying attention to your summary page as well. So if Kenny decides that he's going to invest an extra $2,000 into trying to reacquire new customers, you would pay attention to the pixel to try to understand where are these new customers coming from. Are they really clicking on my Facebook ads? Are they coming through Google? Are they coming through Klaviyo, right? So Klaviyo campaigns, you're going to probably bring a lot of new customers in. You could see new customers move and bump up. But I do think it's great to always just look at returning customers. So you can look at the returning customer orders. Let's go to the Shopify store. So you can see that I've got returning customer percentage, returning customer or new customer revenue, and returning customer revenue. So I would always, if you're going to deploy a tactic to try to go out and get more returning customers, try to silo that tactic into, or that strategy into a specific tactic. So it may be Facebook retargeting against customers who are 180-day lapsed, right? Don't do anything specific or special against your Klaviyo during that time period because it could muddle the data. But if you do decide I'm going to run targeting against Klaviyo, I'm going to run direct mail, and I'm going to run Facebook all against this customer segment, that is where the pixel will come into play because you will be able to see which one is having the most impact at driving those customers. Same deal with new customers, but in this case, Kenny was asking about returning customers. So I want to make sure you know where to look. In general, you want to trust what Shopify is telling you as well. How many more new customers are coming in given this strategy? Same with new customers. As I'm deploying more capital into my marketing mix, am I seeing that kind of marginal return on new customer revenue? Or as I'm spending, am I kind of seeing that new customer revenue still stay flat? That might mean that your tactics are not working as well as you had hoped. Let's go back to the drawing board and see if we can't marginally go and impact new customer revenue or returning customer revenue in this case. All right, so hopefully that helped. Shoot over any questions you have or something in the chat if you'd like around that topic. The next thing I wanted to cover was, let's keep with customer questions. So more about triple survey, and then I'll go into product analytics and we can chat about that. All right, so triple survey. If you're watching this and don't have a post-purchase survey set up with Triple Whale, please, please, please connect. Ours is free, or if you want some more robust features, which I'll describe, you can go to ecommerce or Fairing. Both are great options. Both are working really hard on building those roadmaps out for themselves. So let's talk about the triple survey and why you may want to use it, and then how it kind of impacts Triple Whale and hopefully your marketing in general. So let's go. You go to Insights, post-purchase survey. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. Right out of the gate, when you come in here, you're going to see the survey builder. Now in the survey builder, we've done a couple of different things recently. We've now allowed you to change and edit this leading question, but I will describe why I think this is important to ask. So the first question by default is, which of the following led you to purchase today? Many of the tools out there will go with something default like, how did you hear about us? I'm of the opinion as a marketer that I want to understand how my marketing tactics today are impacting things today. And I feel like the recollection from the customer about what led them to purchase today is an easier question for them to answer than how did I first hear about you? Because some people have a really long consideration cycle. It might have been that a friend told them 3 months ago. It might have been that they saw a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad or something, a couple of months ago. But really, it's what tactics am I doing today that helps drive the sale? And it's okay if there were things in the past that did help as well. And you can ask a question about that to learn more about it anecdotally. Or if they did click on a Facebook ad or clicked on a YouTube or came through organic in any form or fashion, if a click exists, the pixel should have tracked it. So we can combine the pixel data with the survey data to kind of give you a holistic picture of what's going on with your customers. The other cool thing that we've done here with the attribution question is we've automatically randomized the question order. This is so that we can avoid customer bias. We know with surveys in general that people will sometimes only click the very first option. And if Facebook is always your very first option, you can run into a natural bias where you're not sure if customers are choosing Facebook because that's the truth, or if they're choosing Facebook because it's the first one, right, in the survey. And so we'll randomize this so that customers have to go looking for their answer. And it should just help eliminate that bias, which helps, again, with total impact, which we'll go into in a moment. All right. 2 other really cool things about our survey, given that it's naturally vertically integrated with Triple Whale. We have a direct integration with our influencer hub, which makes sense, our affluencer hub. So if you already have affluencers that you want to add, you can see here that we've got like Jalen Schroeder here and Post Pilot. This recognizes that it's an affluencer. So if you have let's say you're running in a specific period of time, like a really big campaign with Logan Paul, and you really want to understand the impact on Logan Paul. I'll give you actually another example that's real. Right now, I'm helping out a buddy or just talking to a friend who owns a pickleball paddle company. And he just got a really great review from someone who's really big into the space. Now, this review is on YouTube, and he's really big into the YouTube space for pickleball. We're already seeing massive uptick in customers coming through and saying that they found out about the paddle and the company on YouTube from this influencer. Now, the half-life of that, you're not sure of yet, right? So the review may launch on July 1. And do those reviews and that traffic keep coming through for 7 days, 14 days, 21 days? What I would do is I would set that influencer up here in Triple Whale, then choose them as an affluencer in your survey, and then figure out with the survey report, which we'll review in a moment, are we continuously seeing the same amount of people coming through for that influencer? Over time, you'll either have to make a decision that I'm going to remove this affluencer from the survey because it's really not that relevant anymore, and I'll add somebody else who is more relevant, or am I going to re-up my relationship or my tactic, my marketing strategy with that influencer to see if I can continue getting upticks of traffic and users telling me they came through them. So just come to Triple Whale, the post-purchase survey page in the builder, add up to 5 influencers at a time, and they'll display in your survey. They automatically get mapped to the affluencer channel and the affluencer of choice in your affluencer hub and in the pixel. The other thing you can do is add custom answers. So you can see here that I've got billboard and TV listed as custom answers. Now you may be asking, what is this little guy? So this is custom attribution mapping. Now, right now I just have TV custom map to TV, but let's say that you're using Tatari as an example, and you've already used UTM source is Tatari, and Tatari is showing up with sessions and visitors in your pixel table. Well, now you can use TV or a specific TV ad, like I ran an ad on the golf channel, or Tatari specifically is OTT. So maybe that's or like linear TV. So maybe it actually just went through something on the internet, right? Like a Hulu. But you could say Hulu ad on TV or something, and you can map that directly to Tari. So you could just click in here, and any of the sources that we've already captured will be displayed, and you can map it directly there. So anytime a customer chooses something like Hulu, it automatically gets mapped um, to Tari in your pixel page. So I think that's a really, really cool feature. And then, of course, if anyone chooses none of the above, they automatically get prompted into choosing or typing in their own response, which is really cool. So I'll show you in the survey report. Anyone who clicked none of the above has the ability to type in their own answer, and you can actually see all of their responses here. And then if you want to, you can actually download them by clicking the export CSV. So choose your date range, export the CSV, and anybody who responded, you can pull that out. And then you could also just like throw those responses into ChatGPT and ask it to summarize what people are saying. Let's say if you have hundreds of responses and you kind of want to understand like what's the general consensus of how they're finding me, or what they're answering, throw it into ChatGPT. All right, hold on, I'll give you a second for questions. All right, what other questions should we be asking after the first survey question? Yeah, it's a great one. Yep, and then Alyssa, I will follow up with you on your attribution question for the survey too. So going back to secondary questions, let's go back to the builder. My favorite back in the day was who are you buying for? So this is why this is here. Spouse, myself, friend. Our product was really interesting. We catered to fans of jam bands, but what we were always wondering about is who is really the customer? Should we be talking to them as if they're like our pals at a show? Or are we talking to the moms and the girlfriends and the boyfriends who are buying for the fan? And we really found out that like 30 or 40% of our customer base was actually not the fans themselves. They were the spouses or the girlfriend, boyfriend of the fans. Or like even my mom was buying stuff, right, for my brother. And so it was kind of funny because it really tailored our messaging and our creative um, based on who that was. And so we really started tailoring our creative around like, this is the perfect gift for the fan in your life. And it worked pretty well. So I also think that you can ask more demographic questions. What is your age? Are you talking to an older crowd or a younger crowd? I think a lot of marketers will make assumptions about who their buyer is, who their customer is. Like, oh yeah, we do a really great job of the young crowd, but like in direct to consumer, I think you see maybe people anecdotally who are following your brand on Instagram. You see maybe some engagement on Facebook, and you hover over a profile to see who they are. But I think it's still really good to ask the customer like, who are you and what's like your general demographic makeup, so I can understand now that I have your age, I know exactly where you live because you've placed an order with me. So I know that, oh wow, I really do have a good group of young professionals who live in LA, but I also have like the Midwest housewife. I have this like 45 to 65-year-old mom and grandmother. So I think that's interesting. I also think that you could probably learn a bit about the consideration cycle, like how long have people known about you? And although I think it's a pretty good piece of information, I think it's good to marry that data up with what you're seeing in the pixel. But, it helps you understand your buying cycles and how long you should leave an ad running and how much spend today will be realized in the future. So maybe asking people, I've known about you for less than a week. I've known about you for a few months. Those kind of things over time will help you understand like, wow, my organic is probably doing a lot better than I think because it's creating consideration and awareness for my product. And it's not until they click on this ad, days, weeks, months later that they're finally going through the decision to purchase from me. So those are kind of the three that I used to run with pretty often. But I think you could also ask not what led you to purchase today, but then ask a secondary question, which is, where did you first hear about us, and compare the differences. Because I'd be really curious to know like how different people respond. Do you still see Facebook running the first spot, or do you see that your organic YouTube play is actually doing a really great job about the first hear about us, or organic Instagram or TikTok or something along those lines? But you can add up to 3 questions here. The biggest difference that I see or customers ask about why triple whale survey versus no commerce or fairing, it's really about like extra flexibility. So like in Fairing, for example, you could choose only to serve the survey to new customers and not returning, where for us, we're delivering the survey to everyone. And the other is like if you wanted to tailor your question based on where the customer came from, like their source, or if you wanted to tailor the question based on what product they ordered. So you could say, of customers who purchase in my t-shirt category, serve them this survey. May have the exact same attribution question first, but then the next question will be something different based on the category they bought in. And especially if you're in health and beauty, this might be really necessary because you may be selling lipstick versus some sort of like facial cream. And so you may want to ask the person who bought the lipstick, who may be interested in looking pretty or prettier. Maybe you want to ask them something about that. But if they're buying the face cream and maybe it's about like helping with a rash or something, some sort of acne, you might want to ask them something different that would help you retarget them or talk to them downstream through Klaviyo or SMS. And I would definitely tailor the information you get here, export that, upload it to Klaviyo, and in the near future, we'll just automatically do it for you. But enrich those profiles and segment people if you can. If you only have a cohort of like 500 people, maybe take it easy on just hounding them with stuff. But I think as your business grows, it's really important. Like we used to specifically exclude gift buyers from a lot of our, daily or weekly email campaigns. We would only kind of target the gift buyers when there were key gifting moments. And key gifting moments for us were like brand new product launches and or holidays where we knew they were buying for Mother's Day, Father's Day. And I think by not hounding them too much along the way and treating them as if they really cared about our brand, because they don't really care too much about our brand, they care about the value our brand brings to the person they're gifting to. And if the person they're gifting to says, oh, I loved that, then all of a sudden we become important to their relationship with that person. And from there, you just need to let them know when there's key moments to buy something that will enrich that relationship. That's my opinion. All right, let's keep going with some questions. Oh, there's someone in the chat. SJ, awesome. Yeah, I love that follow-up question. All right, so Alyssa, should the attribution channel for the email answer be Klaviyo? If that is who we are using for email, yes, I would say so. Same goes for text. Yeah, you should be able to map that. Give me just a moment. So email here, map to Klaviyo, and text you can map. This one's attentive because they're using attentive, but you can map it to SMS bump. And that way, anybody who answers these two, you can just map them directly. The rest are done automatically, like Facebook, Instagram, Google, all that gets mapped automatically for you. Yeah, you got it, Alyssa. All right, so yeah, maybe what I'll do for a second is just go into attribution to describe how this works for attribution too, just so everyone's aware. But regardless of the service you're using, there's two different rules to think about. One, in triple attribution, what we do is we deduplicate pixel data with survey data. What that means is that if someone clicked on a Facebook ad and then also answers the Facebook or answers Facebook in your survey, they don't get duplicate revenue in the pixel. They basically just get Facebook is going to be attributed based on the click we found. Now, if someone is found to have clicked on Facebook, but then answers TikTok, they get attributed to both in triple attribution. So you'll see their order and their click-based journey in the Facebook path. And then you'll also see them in TikTok. So I'm hoping maybe I can find an example here. Let's see. All right, so here at the bottom, you see triple survey. This $502, these are unique customers and conversion value that answered Facebook, but we didn't capture a Facebook click on them. So let's see if I can just find someone's path. Yep, so this person said Instagram, came through Klaviyo. They could have been a returning customer. Yep. Let me make sure this is at a lifetime window. Trying to give you guys a good example of somebody. Oh, that's cool. Who are you buying for? My child. Said in the survey they came through Facebook. And this actually needs to be like further up on the page. I don't know why this is all the way at the bottom, but we'll fix that. Active bug resolving, right? But you can see like this journey goes back all the way to March 20th. It's now July 5th. So you can see they came through Madison Braids. They're looking at all these pages. They came through a Klaviyo campaign, or maybe that's a flow. No, it's a campaign. Now we're at June 29th. Added products to cart. Made a purchase. Yeah, made a purchase on June 29th. So we have data on this person all the way back from March. But since they answered Facebook, that's where we put them. So you can see deduplicated answers and conversion value here like this, triple survey. If it's fairing or no, you'll also see them here. Now, the other cool thing, in my opinion, is total impact, which takes a blend of pixel data and survey data. We do bias correction, and then we basically do like what you would see statistically from, we're in like an election year, right? Or like the elections, local elections are coming up. And what you'll see from that is that they'll survey a group of people, just like we do, or you do with your customers. And then they try to extract what the rest of the population in that area would be voting for. So they want to understand, like, are they Democratic or Republican? We're trying to figure out, is it from Facebook or TikTok? Now, only 30, 40, 50% of customers will actually reply to those and answer those emails, just like in a survey that's going out for political reasons. So what we do is a similar statistical significance analysis to say we have 40% of people who've responded to the survey of all time. Now we need to try to take all of the click-based attribution that we have and all of the survey attribution we have, and we're going to blend it together. We're going to take all of revenue, and for orders that we don't have click-based attribution or don't have survey attribution, we're going to predict where we think that order came from. And so that's what this model does. And we're using a blend of the pixel data, the survey data, and also, are they new customers or returning customers? And that plays into the weight of both. So in total impact, this is not a good example because they don't have enough. I don't know if they're going to have enough at all. Hopefully in your account, you'll be able to see some data here. Unfortunately, they don't have enough responses. If you do see this, it just means that we need more response data, more survey data to feel confident in our report. So it's not really a negative. It just means that, hey, we don't want to give you a false signal. We need a proportionate amount of survey responses to feel confident in our output. But in this model, we give you something similar to linear all, but all of your revenue to your store is actually remapped to the channels that we believe are having the greatest impact based on all those inputs. So if you're not already using it, please, please, please check it out. I would love your feedback personally. You can send me an email, hit me up on Slack. But it'd be very important for me and the company for you to use it and give us feedback, because we think it's a really powerful model in not really predicting, but just like formulating a model that we think will help you determine where your spend should be and where you should double down and where you should maybe cut costs. So check that out. Let me know what you think. I don't think we have any additional questions right now, so we'll go into product analytics here, which I think will be really fun. So product analytics. Go to Insights, Product Analytics. This is like a fairly new feature, but we actually just updated, let's do last 30 days. We just updated some things here. So now in the dropdown, you can actually choose variant or SKU. And then additionally, if you have product selected, you can actually click on the product to see the different variants. So this could be really cool, especially for those who are selling different most people do different sizes. Maybe you're just doing different colors like they are here, but you can see like how much is sold of your XL versus your medium t-shirt, shorts, pants, whatever it may be. And then if you just want to visualize that by variant or by SKU, you can actually click on it here and we'll just list those out for you to show you what variant is actually the most popular of any given product. Now, if I go back to product, I can actually, we've updated this for new filter criteria. So you can add a custom filter. And now you can choose SKU, product tag, vendor, or product type. So let's say you're selling, like our old company was selling from Grateful Dead apparel. So we'd always change the vendor to be like Grateful Dead or Fish or David Bowie or something. So if we really wanted to understand how well are all David Bowie products doing, I could do vendor equals and then choose David Bowie. But product type, the other thing that we would do is we had board shorts and we had t-shirts and we had polos. So it'd be really important to me also from a merchandising standpoint to know how well is the board short category doing right now and which product from the board short category is doing best. So that's where you can come in the product type and choose one here. You just have to start typing something. And I don't know if they use accessories as an example. Um, so check this out for your own brand. Any product type you're using in Shopify should pull over here. And then we actually updated this to give you the ability to sort the table by any of these columns. So like I have total sold right now, but if you wanted to look at like new customer orders, like which product is driving the most new customer orders, not just total sold, that might help you determine which path to take with your ads. And what's kind of cool with this ad spend too, if I click on this for a moment, you can see the spend will populate here in a moment, but you can see like what's getting the most spend, even if your ad is not necessarily targeting this product. If your customers are buying this product off of an ad, it'll show here. So uh, basically, customers may be going through one funnel that you had pushed them through, but they decided to go for another one. So I would use this as well just to make sure you understand like what product is delivering my new customer acquisition, and am I currently pushing that as a strategy or not, and how can I change up my strategy to better suit what my customers are doing, the historical analysis. Um, and the other thing I wanted to touch on here was using this as a way to forecast and purchase your rebuys. So a lot of the things that we went through at my old company was trying to figure out, all right, we know that the upcoming summer season's coming. We have all these board shorts. We have brand new designs made, but we also have the tried and true. So we had to do this kind of manually through Excel back in the day. So it's pretty exciting that we have this here in Triple Whale. But let's just look at like one product as an example. One of the ways that we would go through this is we would choose a date range in the past. We'd say, okay, we know that board shorts do the best in the summer. I would choose my entire summer, right? And what you would see on the graph is basically the day that we were sold out to the day that we restocked. And then I would look at that entire date range to understand my ebbs and flows. And on which days did things pop off? What was my average sale per day over time? And I would try to look at whether or not this sustained compared to another product. So then if I want to choose the double Lulu strand as comparison, you can see this definitely doesn't do as well over time. And so when you're going into these decisions of how much do I reorder, when do I reorder, use these graphs to understand the times at which this product or given set of products, because you can choose it by product type in the filter, how are they doing over time? When do I need to have them restocked? And how much do I feasibly think I can sell through this product? If we're expecting 30% growth next year, that's what we want to hit. Is that 30% growth going to come from the new products I introduce, the new styles of board shorts as an example? Or do I have room in my margin for my new customer acquisition costs from that tried and true board short that did really well? Do I have room there to scale up spend? If CPA goes an extra $5 per unit, am I still okay with that? And if I think that I can continue pushing that product, then I may want to order 15, 20% more units than I did last year. And additionally, now that I know which size runs are doing the best by variant, right? If this said 32, 34, 36, and I know that those are doing the best out of my entire suite, that's where I may order the bulk. And so that's where you can use this to understand, how much is being sold in the time period by size run, and just only order that size run and your marginal increase that you're going to order. So that'd be my 2 cents there. But really cool product. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, the other thing too, it's kind of cool is the product status, active or in draft. So let's say that you only want to include active products. You can toggle this on. This may be if you're specifically trying to take products off the site and into draft mode, and maybe you don't want to review those currently. They could be like your all-time bestseller, but maybe something happened. There's no way you can get it from the manufacturer anytime soon. So you just don't want to analyze that data right now. The other is like if you have free products that you're giving out for samples or anything, you could include that here as well. So this is any order that came across as free. How does that impact? How does that impact the data that you want to visualize? So very cool stuff here. There are a couple questions. Let's see what we got. Is there a level of this that shows you what customers are bundling? Yeah, we do have a bundling feature. So it's not this one. It's actually the cart analysis. So this used to be called frequently bought together. What this shows you is the total number of orders that included the products being featured. And the products featured here, there's a couple of, so you can see minimum products is 2. So it's always greater than 1 in this visualization. So these are the count of orders that had at least 2 or more products in it. And then this is sorted by the number of orders with these 2 products in it. So you can see here that 33.5% percent of carts had this, and 9.3 orders from this that had both the top knot ponytail holder and the Lulu 2 strand. So yeah, SJ, let me know if this helps. I would definitely check this out. This is a fairly new feature as well. You can break this down by segments as well. So segments that are built in the CDP. So go build those out if you'd like. But this is not one thing I want to make sure that we're clear on is it's not indicative of anyone who adds to cart. It's only indicative of those who place an order. So just know that what we say cart analysis, this is essentially bundled product analysis, bundle order analysis. So of those who ordered more than 1 product, or you can do more than 2, more than 3, more than 4 products, what do those carts look like? What do those orders look like? And what are they buying? So pretty powerful as well. Let's see what's in the chat. Got it, exactly. Yeah, SJ, it'd be cool. Let me know as you guys dig into that, what questions you have or what deeper analysis you'd want to go into. All right, Kenny, is there a way to bulk product as a whole category, or is there a category available for product analytics? If I just want to see t-shirt and not the other category, is there a way to do that? Hopefully I answered this correctly. In the product analytics, you can break this down by category if you have a product type set. So if I go to product type, and then they don't have it, but let's say yours was t-shirt like this, and you apply it. That means you're only going to see products listed by that product type. However, we don't have a way right now. I don't believe I have a way right now to show you on the graph sales by that aggregate product type, meaning you won't have like a summation of all t-shirt sales. But that's a really good idea, and something I will pitch to the PM who's in charge of this one. Hopefully that's what you're asking. Can you confirm? Let me know if that's what you're asking. So I've set a filter for product type equals t-shirt. Now show me over all time my metrics for the t-shirt category. I think that's what you're asking. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Very cool. Yeah. So something I will definitely find out for you. Something I want to check really quick. This could be a cool hack. Let's go to the store and let's create a new segment. No, not segment. I was going to see maybe if there was a order tag, probably wouldn't be best, but like product type here, we could filter this out by product type would be neat too. That way you could see all order revenue, sales, returns by product type. Yeah, and let me know if you guys think collection would be good too. That's something else that I've been playing around with is like, is it important to understand that the product was a part of a collection, or is everyone using product tags and types pretty strictly? Because if you're not using the product type column when you build a new product, then you might have some blank data there. Collection would be great from Kenny. Cool. Okay. Sorry, Kenny's typing here. But yeah, I mean, right now, all right, so I think we went through the next gen. Actually, maybe we need to go back to next gen for a second. So what we've done with next gen, just so everyone knows, you can read about it. I'm going to throw it up in here I'm sorry, I'm grabbing the knowledge base article so I can put it in the chat. But essentially, all we've done is created an even better ID graph. We've improved our ID graph, meaning we should be able to combine journeys from way back in the past that maybe we weren't able to do we weren't able to do. So I'm going to pull up the article so you guys can read it and understand the exact differences between the current attribution model and the new. I will say the one thing to keep track of right now is that the next gen model is only available as far back as January, but we're working on backfilling further than that. So I'm going to throw this in the chat for you guys to check that out. Yeah. And so there's one thing to bring up here too about next gen is that because we can default to lifetime or 28, if you use lifetime, what can really happen is that we might have a click from Facebook that happened a year ago, and we're actually giving credit to that order that happened today from the click from a year ago. That's the way lifetime will work. So if you really want to understand the differences between lifetime and any of these other models, this is what I would choose. And just so everyone is aware, let's say your Facebook is already set up off 7-day. I would probably work off that assumption as well. If the assumption is that customers, the majority of them, make a purchase within 7 days of a click. That's what that means. It's like 7 days between click event and purchase event. That's the attribution we're going to give. So if a Facebook click happened 8 days ago, it's not going to get credit here. But if you know kind of like a swag off the top of your head, you can also just check it by flipping between the models. If you know that a majority of your customers make that decision within 1 day, 7 day, 14, that's what I would work off of. Also, if you have recurring subscription, it's going to give credit back to the original Facebook ad that was clicked or the original Google ad that was clicked. So you might just want to kind of finagle those numbers. And that can also be why some orders show up in non-attributed, where it's just like recurring subscription orders that we don't have any click-based data on because they're just letting orders kind of come through. My wife does this with our dog food. I don't think she ever really visits their website. She just lets the dog food come. But yeah, now we also have direct traffic. So you can see how much revenue is coming through direct. And this does have excluded, but excluded would be like a $0 order or a draft order. So let's say you set up a draft order in your account. You as the admin of the account have probably been all over your Facebook ads and everything else. So we just wouldn't want you to, this would show up there as well, like a draft order or something would be an excluded. But I would implore everyone to work off next gen, unless you need to go back further than a year. But send us feedback here as you have it on next gen and what you're seeing. If there's anything wonky, this should just be like an improved ID graph. So, and we're now showing not attributed, direct, and excluded in the table. So when you're using linear all, like 100% of your conversion value should match here from Shopify, except for like any draft orders, of course, something like that. Cool. So great. We're coming up on the last little bit of the webinar. Would love to get feedback from anyone who is here today. Let me know how this went. We're probably going to liven it up a bit with Sonder or Raba as soon as they get back from traveling the globe. But we're just in a bit of a lull because Raba's doing like a 30-day kind of travel around the globe vacation, which is fun. But if you guys want to know things specifically like about the app, but if you also want to talk about what's going on in your world, like how can we help you solve your problems? Like our mantra right now is let's help businesses make better decisions. So if you guys can just let me know what decisions are you trying to make, this can really help the webinar flow into a discussion about how we would use the data and the tools we have available to us, to make decisions on your behalf, or just give you better confidence in making said decision. So anyway, if there's any questions, pop them in. Anybody want to leave any last chats? SJ's typing, so we'll see what we got there. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody spending the time. I'm going to let SJ type it up here. While he's typing that, I want to, let's see, really curious about bundling. Yeah, SJ, let's ping me on Narwhal Nation. Hopefully you're in the Slack channel or in Narwhal Nation Slack. Like ping me. What I want to get down to is like the brass tacks. Like what decision are you trying to make? Is it what do I? Hey, what's up? Like I want to know like what do the customers want to do? Do they want to understand what to bundle and how that impacts their store? Do they just want to know what bundles are being added to cart and converted on? I think one thing right now that we don't have great specifics on are like when these two things are added to cart together, they lead to a higher conversion rate than when these two products are added together. Um, but if that's the question at hand, let's see how we can answer for people. But yeah, I would love to know. Ask your customers too. Like as you're talking about things that Just Do Know and Triple Whale help uh, combine forces to give answers to our customers. Let's figure out like what else, how else they want to take it to the next level, and then let's execute on that here in the webinar. That'd be a lot of fun. I know you're typing some more, so uh, cool. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. But in general, everybody, thanks again for being here, and I'll give you 5 minutes of your day back, which is great. More added value from Triple Whale. Thanks so much for being here. Please, please, please hit me back with product questions or feedback. It means the world. So otherwise, Kenny, thanks for always being here. SJU as well. And for everyone at Matt, thanks so much. Everybody for sticking around. Alyssa, thanks for the questions. I believe it's Alon. Thanks so much for being here. Until next time, guys. See you later.